Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have opened another chapter to Pageful of Life, a platform for intellectuals who likes to engage in thought-provoking topics. I'm Elliot Page, an entrepreneur and accountability coach. Hey, listen, if you or anyone that you know needs help with um, habit tracking, staying on top of their habits, their daily routines, or just need to be held accountable towards any type of goals or ambitions that they have in life, go to pagefuloflife.com where you can get help with that. You can get some real practical guidance dealing with real life. Okay. So let's turn the page. Oh, clicking the wrong buttons here. All right. So the rundown that we have for the show today is we have the Hold Them Accountable segment, a segment where I take um, worldly news, like big time news that's happening in the major news publications, and I'll hold a person or some actions or a concept, an idea accountable. I take a look at that topic and kind of just break it down and want to talk about it. The other segment that we have is the social media handbook. I'm sorry, social media scrapbook. We just flip through some bunch of different things that I screen grabbed and just have some thoughts on it. And then we have the CPA hotline. It's a new segment I'm kind of having a trial run with. It's going to be where I take real live people and any like just basically give them some suggestions. Basically, what I would do in my accountability coaching sessions, and basically just give them some practical guidance on how to navigate the life scenario that they're dealing with. Okay, so that's what we got for the show today. So for today's topic, first topic, in the hold them accountable topic, is the Gen Z revolt in Nepal. I don't know if you guys been keeping up with that. I don't know. Young people have taken over the government. Wow. Gen Z, man. Hey, let's get a hand clap for Gen Z. Hey, listen, man. So many people be talking down on Gen Z. Oh, they're the lazy generation, or they're the tablet babies, and all this type of stuff, right? Hey, they took an oppressive government and overran it. Literally burned the Parliament building to the ground. Literally burned it down to the ground. They have taken action against a government that they felt that was not holding and keeping their best interests at heart. All right. Um, so I'm not applauding violence per se, but I will applaud people being convicted about something, and people gathering together, um, and doing something about when they feel like their rights and their freedoms and they're just not being treated humanely. All right, hey, I will applaud that. Okay, so let's get into it. For those who don't know, Nepal, sandwiched between is it China and India, a country sandwiched geo located between those countries. And who I'm holding accountable in this segment is corrupt governments. Okay, Nepal's government was overthrown by Gen Zers. Oddly, the prime minister stepped down as a result of the top political leaders' homes being set on fire, leading to Nepal's young generation to select their next prime minister. Get this, via Discord. Via Discord, yo. Um, I can't stand Discord, by the way. That's just, but not to get on a tangent. I like Telegram. If group messaging and things of that nature, hey, I'll take Telegram. Telegram's pretty sweet. WhatsApp, not so much, man. You be getting those scam messages by a Asian lady named Amy saying, "Hey, it was nice meeting you last night." Boy, if you don't have a real solid relationship, man, that can really cause some issues. Like, who's Amy texting you at 11 at night saying that you had a good time last night? You said that you was over your auntie's house. But anyway, yeah. So they literally held a poll on Discord, the Gen Zers, to elect the next prime minister. Now, get this. Um, well, before I get into that, so what caused the civil unrest? Well, it began after Nepali authorities imposed a sweeping nationwide ban on 26 locally unregistered social media platforms. Those platforms include Facebook, X, YouTube, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp. I mean, those are all the major social media players in that industry. I mean, Facebook, X, YouTube, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp. Imagine if that happened over here in America or over in a country like Europe or something like that, right? A place where people are used to being socially free, in so to speak. Like they're able to speak their minds, they're able to engage with whoever they want to engage with, they're able to look up whatever they want to look up, they're able to type whatever they want to type on these platforms. Okay, I mean those are all of the major players, and I mean LinkedIn is where you go get a job. You can't, excuse me, and they had a nationwide ban on that, so you can see why that would upset some people. All right. The government said that these platforms had failed to comply with new state regulations, asking the companies to appoint a liaison office or a point of contact in the country. Um, hey, look, banning young people's social media outlets, there will be hell to pay. Trust me. Yeah, try banning some social media outlets. Young people will have you have some hell to pay for sure. Um, And so I'm gonna read something from the news outlet DW. It says it was a desperate bid by an unpopular government to silence critics. That was Tara Dahal, chairperson of the NGO Freedom Forum for Nepal. It goes on to say many young people are particularly angry that the children of political leaders seem to enjoy luxury lifestyles and numerous advantages, while most youth struggle with a lack of decent jobs. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is why this is really fascinating to me. Because you can kind of see some semblance of that here in America. All right. You can start to see where you're like, okay, the one percenters are doing great. They're doing phenomenal, right? Even when, say, for instance, they take a hit financially because maybe the stock market is down, or the government, a new law was passed where basically they're not getting subsidiaries. Subsidies where they're getting government funding, like free money, a grant from the government. Basically, hey, go do, like, say for instance, the solar power energy company. When Trump's uh, big beautiful bill basically reversed $400 billion of clean energy initiative that was going in initiative equals funding going towards these companies in order to have clean energy. A lot of those companies, a lot of those CEOs and founders of those companies took a hit, right? But what's a hit to them? Okay, you lose. Basically, they're still going to be rich and wealthy. Okay, all right. The 1%ers are going to do well. They're going to do all right. You have the other 99 percenters who are scratching and clawing and trying to make a way and a living for themselves and for their family. And it just seems that there's no pathway for that. But the one percenters, the top political leaders, the CEOs, the investment bankers, all of these, all of those people, right? They're doing well, and then they're having to where their kids are doing well, right? So there's an issue, right? There is nothing more symbolic of a corporate. I'm sorry. There's nothing more symbolic of a corrupt government with civil unrest than images of a burning building of a government office. And as you can see right here, you can see right there where the kids are on top of this structure, and if you see there's like this gray and black smoke in the background, yeah, those are government offices being burned to the ground. This boy in the TJ Watt jersey right there. um, but yeah, uh, there's nothing more symbolic of a corrupt government than images like that, right? Um, and so yeah, but what's okay? What's fascinating? I'm rambling a little bit. What's fascinating about this is the people or the person that the Gen Zers that went on Discord to elect the next prime minister. Who the next prime minister was? That's the most. That's another fascinating part in this. So they elected Mrs. Sushila Karki. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. She is the new interim prime minister of Nepal after being voted in via the Discord app, right? And the next elections happen in March of 2026. Okay. Guess how old she is? Guess how old she is? Hold on. She's 72. She's 72 years old. Now, why I find that interesting is because usually there's usually like a clashing of the multi-gap generations. So for instance, right, 72, that's late age state of life. You're an elder. Gen Zers, that's the other. You have so Gen Z from 72. That's a boomer. Yeah, it's a baby boomer. That's a so you got the baby boomer generation and Gen Zers. There is you have Gen X and millennials sandwiched in between those two generations, right? So that's a lot of years, a lot of life experiences that either hell that the younger generation that wasn't even alive to even have an experience for, or they experienced it, but in different stages of life, right? One was experiencing like a world war, or you know, let me not use that. One was experiencing like a major terroristic attack in that country as an adult, as a parent. The other one was 10 years old and you know maybe in grade school or something like right. So usually you like when you overthrow a system you usually when you elect a leader, you usually elect someone from your own crowd. So that's what I find most fascinating about this. They elected someone who was 72 years old. That's like us in America, young folk, the early adult people, you know, the 21, 23-year olds, just saying, hey, I had enough. I'm storming the Capitol. Have we heard that before?
Oh shit, not good.
You know, um, and you know they those the young folks they go burn those the Capitol building down. They hop on Discord or Telegram or uh, Instagram broadcast channel feature. You know, they hop on an app and elect the next president, and they elect a Joe Biden or Trump or Mitch McConnell or whoever. Name someone who's 70 years old in office. Now they're the next president, right? An old person. Like usually that wouldn't happen. That would kind of go against logic, right? But um, just judging by her quotes out of this, Miss Karki, who's 72 years old, who's the standing prime minister, she had an interesting quote where she said, "We have to work according to the thinking of the Gen Z generation." Um, yeah, um, yeah. She said we have to work according toward the thinking of the Gen Z generation. You know, I'm gonna give her an applause for that. Yeah, I think she deserves that applause because, um, hey, you better think like that. Or your ass gonna be up on out of there too. Them young folks ain't got patience for y'all now. You ain't got patience for y'all old folk. Nah, but for real, um, I think that is very grounded. I think that's very practical, and I think that's very in tune with what she said and what she thinks about that. Like, yeah, hey, I better go ahead and listen to these folks who are fed up and overthrew the government. I better listen to them. But honestly, but why not? I think this is a much bigger theme here that I really would like to get into because young people, man, young people have they're so fresh with ideas, they're so fresh with energy. It's I mean they just been brought up different, right? Older folk, they're very traditional, right? They can be set in their ways sometimes, and they could just be very antiquated. They could be very uh, draconian. You know, they could just be very stuck in their ways, man, very rigid. And life is passing by. The world is passing by. Innovations are passing them by. I mean, how many times have we heard a older person say, "I'm not, I'm not good with all that technology stuff." You know, and it's like, yo, you are really handicapping yourself because that is where the world is. You know, that is where it's going. That's where it's at. You need to get with the times, okay? And so I think that's very incredibly in tune of Mrs. Karki to feel that way. That yes, we need to we need to think. We have to work according to the thinking of the Gen Z generation. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I'm gonna keep tabs on this whole situation, man, because I think it is very, very fascinating, man. Gen Z have led a revolt and overthrown the government and elected a new head of the government on a social media app, Discord. That is that's tremendous, man. Um, but yeah, moving on, we're gonna go to this scenario right here. All right. So who am I holding accountable in this scenario? I am holding accountable in this scenario the all the free you people. You know, it was like, oh, free Tony, oh, free Keisha, free Sarah. All of those people who are screaming at the top of their lungs and wearing shirts and making posts saying, free this criminal. They may be a loved one. They may be a loved one, but they are saying, free you. I'm holding those people accountable. And I'm using this story as an example towards that case, right? So for those who are not familiar, um, multiple players wore shirts in support of suspended teammate Rasheed Rice prior to their home opener against the Eagles on Sunday, right? And so Rasheed Rice is a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's serving a 6-game suspension for his involvement in a multi-car crash caused by him losing control of his car from driving 119 miles per hour on a highway. Rasheed fled the scene, but ultimately was arrested and pled guilty to 2 felony charges. Rasheed's teammates wore free 4 shirts. 4 is the number that Rasheed Rice wears. And they wore that while warming up for one of the games. And I beg the question here, isn't shouting free such and such confessing the tolerance of the crime of your loved one? Right? Isn't it? I think we should come up with a better phrase than free him or her. It should be something like send love for him or her or prayers for him or her. I mean, folks can show love to a criminal friend or relative without saying that they should be free because that implies that they should not suffer the consequences for their actions. That's my whole thing, right? Um, they free free David, you know, free Travis, uh free Ashley, you know, and these people have robbed 10 different grocery stores, armed robbery. Uh, they freaking they've gotten locked up for child neglect. They've gotten locked up for domestic abuse. They've gotten locked. I mean, you just name it, right? If you are guilty of a crime, you need to pay the consequences of that. I'm sorry. A criminal has no place in society. That's my take on it, man. No criminal has a place in society. Those people need to go get locked up somewhere. You need to get out of society. You're no good out here. You're a cancer in its ecosystem. That's how I feel. If you just need to do the time for the crime, and you can still love your loved ones without saying free such and such, man. It, I've heard people do that for people who have murdered somebody, cold-blooded murdered somebody, and you're saying free you.
Oh shit, not good.
I mean, make some sense, right? You need some sense knocked into yourself. It just I don't understand it, So we need to come up with a better phrase. Like instead of saying free you, because like you're saying you want that person who murdered three people, three different occasions, to come back out and walk amongst normal functioning people in society. You just gonna have them show up at a hey, they can just show up at a hey, you know, hey man, you know what you call it. You know he crazy. You know he crazy, man. He ain't always been, cool in the head. Ever since we were little, So yeah, you know him, man. He's always been like that, man. He don't mean no harm. Really, he don't mean no harm. Nah, man, y'all gotta stop that. So I'm holding the people, all the free you people accountable. Y'all gotta let's come up with a better phrase, all right, please. These folks need to be locked up, man, and suffer the consequences of their actions. I'm sorry. But moving on, we're gonna go to my boy Nick Cannon, man. And I say my boy because I really do. I admire Nick for a lot of his business acumen, his ability, or no, sorry, his capacity to put people on. I mean, he's putting a lot of people in positions to get on TV, or so he's just giving them game, how to like just navigate the entertainment industry, and man, he'll give a helping hand, right? Um, and so I don't think he's a bad dude per se. Like, obviously, I don't know him personally, but from what I have seen and what from others have said, um, or even not said, right? Like sometimes it's almost like preventative maintenance, right? If something wrong doesn't happen, that means you're doing a good job preventing things from happening. So if someone is not speaking out negatively on you, you're doing a good job by being a good person. All right. So, but I'm in this situation, I'm holding Nick Cannon and other dads accountable because People Magazine posted a headline that reads, Nick Cannon says having 12 kids was a response to trauma, admits he was being careless and frivolous with his process. He goes on to say, it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it. Because I had the money and because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move. He said, then obviously life happens as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to have 12 kids. It was more like, yo, I'm just going to live life and have fun, and whatever happens, happens. I can handle it. And I would add that he was quoted in another interview saying he hopes his 5 daughters learn from his mistakes and not date someone like him.
Oh shit, not good.
Yeah, not good at all. Boy, my gosh. Where do we begin with this one? Men, we are gathered here today. Men, we got to do better, okay? Let this be an example. Let this be a case study for what not to do. And I'm so thankful that Nick Cannon is being open about this and being vulnerable about this because again, men, this is more of what we need. We need to be real with ourselves. We need to be expressive about, hey man, I may have been a little wrong. I may have I may have been a little messed up, you know what I'm saying, in my thinking, in my actions, in life, and I may have affected people in a negative way, and I gotta answer for that. So I appreciate Nick Cannon. I appreciate him for being open and vulnerable, okay, and allowing us to have dialogue around this topic. All right, so let's get into it. Oh, he also admitted that he was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Um, and so yeah, man, we have to have more care as men when it comes to bringing kids in this world. It's not a game. Okay, this man has had 12 kids, and he said he hopes his 5 daughters learn from his mistakes and not date someone like him. To not date someone like him. That like really, yo, I can't fathom. I mean, I have a daughter myself, okay? She's 1 years old. I have a daughter myself, and man, it's the best feeling in the world having a daughter. As a man, having a little girl, man, or raising a little girl, it's great, and she's phenomenal. Don't every parent say that? But I, like, how would I be as a person, man, as a man, as a father, if I'm raising a daughter and I don't want her to be like me? Wait, what? I don't want her to. I don't want them to. Who I want them to be like then? Someone outside of the household? That don't make sense. You lead by example, right? Yo, I'm in the house. Well, I guess. Well, Tim, I don't know if they all in the same household. I mean, he got so many damn kids. It's like a boarding home. Or something. I, but yeah, I want to be the role model. I want to be the inspiration. I want to be the person that my daughter, my kids. Well, it's only looking like it's only gonna be one, the way everything's set up. But I want to have them um not follow in my footsteps because I don't want them to do everything I do, but I want them to learn from me. Learn, like, and he said that learn from his mistakes. Yeah, learn from me, but hey, take all of the good traits from me and not the bad. you know, um, and I work on those. Whatever bad traits those might be, right? But okay, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, I know we're not all perfect, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and really just have the understanding that, oh yeah, I know they can't be like me because that would be chaotic if my kid turned out to be like me. Well, that means I need to do a lot of soul searching to figure out how I can be a person that my kid would want to be like and should be like. Okay? Because if I'm a terrible person, yeah, I mean, as a parent, you don't want to be terrible. You don't want your kids to be terrible as well. Um, but if you look at yourself as being a stand-up person, yeah, I would love for my kids to be a stand-up person as well. Yeah, absolutely. So man, and that's something you can't reverse, man. You have a kid, you can't reverse it. They're here, and they didn't ask to be here, and you're putting them in environments or situations that may cause them trauma, right? And that's what I said, man. We just got to be careful with who we're having kids with, why we're having kids, and our whole setup in life of if it's even manageable to have kids. That's another thing too, man. That's another. A lot of people are bringing kids into this world that they have no business bringing into because of how chaotic their life is. So I'm saying, man, we got to take a look at that. That's crazy. Um, So switch over real quick. But yeah, um, but Nick, though, I appreciate you though, man. I appreciate you for appreciate you, Nick, man, for keeping it real. Oh man, I did not mean to do that. All right, we're gonna transition over into the next segment. We're gonna transition into okay. We're gonna transition to this is the social media scrapbook, okay? So a couple screens, grab three things that I've seen from scrolling on social media. And this one is just I keep laughing, man, because man, it's funny though. Like my wife, she knows me, man. I love her to death, man. She knows me so well. Gosh, man, y'all gotta get someone who knows you, who really knows you, who understands you, and who just rock with you because they understand you and they chose you, right? I don't understand when people get with somebody and then they can't stand them. Like you want to change, and then you want to change everything about them or something, right? Like you take them on as projects or whatever. Uh,
Oh shit, not good.
Not good. No, no, not good. And so, but she gets me because she knows, man, I really don't care for holidays and birthdays and stuff like that. Not even my own. Like, I swear to you, I just turned 30 about 2 weeks ago. Just turned 30, man. I did nothing. Literally nothing. When I say nothing, I did nothing for my birthday. Um, did nothing, man. And she kept wanting to do something. Hey, should we go somewhere? Should we do this? Hey, man, it's your 30th, man. That's a new milestone, and it's a big milestone. Hitting your 30s, man. You have that's another gear that you gotta turn on in life, man. Your 20s are over. That's your fun zone. That's your fun time. And then 30s hit. It's like, all right, let's build on what we were building on our late 20s. Let's keep the momentum and let's keep gunning for greatness, setting up the next 10 years of life, man. This decade should be even more prosperous, right? So it is momentous to turn 30 or uh any different number age bracket, right? Like if when you hit your 20s, oh, it's a big time. You hit your 30s, a big time. 40s, 50s, 60s, like it's momentous, okay? It's another decade of life that you're about to experience, okay? But um, I did nothing because it was I didn't have the feeling to even do anything. You get what I'm saying? For whatever reason, man, I don't know, just locked into what I need to like on my day to days, man. I'm locked into what I need to do and get done. I'm always looking forward to the future and just kind of mapping out my future. The whole birthday, man, it's like honestly, I don't even feel I feel the same. I know I'm not about to be like supercharged anytime you have a birthday. That same day on your birthday, you're like, oh man, I feel like a new person or something. Like it ain't really like that, but it really was not like that. I really had no. It was a regular day, man. And I say this: every day should be celebrated as a day to have another try at life. Like you wake up, that is another try at life, and that's a celebration. Don't take these days for granted. Why wait until oh yeah, my birthday is coming up in 9 months? I should do this. Take if it's a trip or something, take the trip now. Take the trip in a month. Like why wait? Why wait? Do you have to go to? And some people, it's like, "Hey, I want to take a trip to say a hot place, right? And it's the summertime. It's like, why don't you go in the wintertime? Like if your birthday was in the summertime and you like, I can't wait till I go to the Caribbeans for my birthday in the summertime. It's like, bro, it's hot there year round. Like, go in the wintertime. That's the better time. Everybody else freaking freezing their ass off, and sipping Mai Tais, which getting a skin glow from the sun, in a hot weather place. Don't don't wait 9 months from now. Do it now. But it's going back to the point of like just celebrate life each day, man. And these holidays, but I will say though, birthdays are special because they are unique to that individual. I mean, yeah, sure. There's probably a million other people that have their birthdays, right? A million people that you do not know. I'm talking about, it's not a holiday. Like it's for you, like your individual day that you were born, and it also symbolizes the day, or it also symbolizes the year of life you just completed. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, me, I was born September 2nd, 95. That's the day I was born. But when I turned 1 years old, I just celebrated 1 year of life. You get what I'm saying? So me turning 30, I just celebrate. I symbolizes 30 years of life. Um, or is it 20? Yeah, no, yeah, 30 years of life that I just completed, right? But holidays, oh, holidays, yeah, y'all. How about this? Y'all can kiss my, you know, because holidays are they're man-made rituals. There should be no reason for social pressure of participating in these rituals, which oftentimes result in costly purchases. I'm, hey man, Valentine's Day, bro. People be going. I think I seen you last year, man. It was billions of dollars spent on that day. Billions of dollars spent on that particular day. Why? It used to be a pagan festival, actually. It used to be, so I don't know if people like, so I'm gonna use Valentine's Day as an example, right? As a holiday, it's a ritual, man. It's, it, it, it actually did start off like as a ritual. So I say ritual in the sense of like, oh, that day is coming up. Like we have to, you have to like almost like put on a different face, a different mask. Like you have to, you're putting on. You know what I'm saying? You're acting outside of your norm. That's what I don't like, right? That's why I call it a ritual. Um, but for those who didn't know, actually, I just did quick research before I get into this topic. Valentine's Day started out as a pagan holiday. For those who aren't familiar with the term pagan, pagan basically is a non-believer, non-Christian believer. Um, that's a loose definition for you. It's a non-Christian believer, and usually they believed in multiple gods. The people of the pagans usually believed in different gods and not one God, and not the God that Christian, like the Father who sent um, Jesus down to die for our sins, right? So it was a pagan holiday that was meant for Valentine's Day. I'm speaking of was a pagan holiday that was meant for fertility, and actually they had matchmaking set up to where people would get matched with a suitor, a mate to mate. They wanted to keep the population going. They wanted to pop these babies out. So they would have a big festival where people getting their freak on. All right. But for good reason, like they wanted to keep, it was for fertility. You know what I'm saying? It was to keep the population healthy, and so keep the population in healthy numbers. It later in medieval times, it got picked up, as a like the Christians picked it up, and uh, the Saint Valentine, um, was kind of like that's where Valentine's Day came in, where and I kind of forget the story. Forgive me, but it was he's kind of the model for what it turned into. It turned into the Christians took it from the pagans, ironically, and turned it into their own thing, and yeah, it just grew into what it ended up becoming, where it was all right. Now it's like I have to profess my love for you, and but 2025, it is turned into such a money grab, and I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it, man. Just like with the birthdays, man. Celebrate the person that you love every day. You know, like just like why wait until a day that other people are celebrating their love for somebody, and you're going into dead, or you're doing same thing with Christmas, right? I don't what I love Christmas, the thought of it, like I love the thought of like families gathering, okay? Same with Thanksgiving, and I know what Thanksgiving was, right? It wasn't not it's the origin of it is not something to be celebrated, but the families gathering and breaking bread together should be celebrated. Um, I think that, um, but I don't like the money grab. Again, last year I seen it. $1 trillion was spent on Christmas. That is insane. That is insane. That's worldwide, but that's insane, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. And people don't got themselves in so much credit card debt for Christmas, man. It's really ridiculous, man. So yeah, to this person who posted this, as soon as a man tell me he don't care about birthdays and holidays, I'm done. Hey, I'm hey, stick with your tribe. Get with a person who really values that type of stuff. Um, yeah, get with a person who really values that type of stuff. That's the best thing I can I can suggest. And hey, and if you aren't into that type of stuff, get with somebody who understands. Like my wife, she understands, and she ain't really all that with all that rah stuff either. Man, it's just bro, love every day. How about that? This other one we have here, quite interesting. Okay, so um, Sophie Rain, she's a OnlyFans model. She it's reported that her annual earnings almost matches LeBron's NBA annual salary. What? What? Yo, yo. I mean, LeBron James, who some people have him as the greatest basketball player of all time, right? And if you don't have him as the greatest basketball player of all time, I'm sure you damn sure got him second, okay? So you're talking about just the uh, 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 a sensation, a basketball sensation, and has transitioned into the entertainment industry. Where I mean, LeBron he's one of the most famous people, one of the most famous names ever, right? He earns $48.7 million, what he did for this last year's NBA salary. Um, and Sophie Rain pulled in 43 M's last year. She almost matched LeBron's salary, bro. From doing OnlyFans content. And I'm gonna say this right here. Um, Congratulations to her for taking advantage of her feminine charm and men's horniness. You know, that's all a 43 M's of lust. You know that men. I mean, men are men gonna pay the bills, ain't they? Them men gonna pay the bills, boy. Boy, again, man. Like again, shout out to her, man. Shout out to her because I'm telling you, women are beautiful, man. Women are they are such a they're just they're God's gift, man. And the women's beauty, man, it's just really remarkable. So to be able to monetize that, I'm not mad at. I'm honestly, I'm not mad at it. You're exercising your feminine charm. You're putting it out there. Hey, and it's getting some attention. To the point where it's getting your bills paid. Hell, shit. Okay, all right, go ahead. But men, if your bills aren't paid and you're helping pay her bills by subscribing to her content, Yeah, we gotta do better, man. Gotta do better. Okay. So I just think that's just very fascinating. And we're seeing where that industry is booming, man. And shout out to the women. They have found they ca- they have the founders of OF for one are brilliant. Hey, um, let's give these people a platform. Let's let them have let us give them exclusivity to their fans. Have this platform. We just take a little profit out of the top from their earnings, but we're giving it to them. So it's no longer that like these big media companies are in control of these um, entertainers, and they're able to be in control of their image, of their fans, all of that sort of stuff, right? So, hey, shout out to the women, man. And so, the last thing we have here for the social media scrapbook is a screenshot that I grabbed showing what Gen Alphas want to be when they grow up. So, for those who are not familiar, Gen Alphas are aged from 12 to 15 years old. Um, well, they're the generation after Gen Z. But I guess from this survey, it was the Gen Alphas who were aged from 12 to 15. The age gap is expands outside of those ages, but they specifically surveyed the Gen Alphas from those ages, 12 to 15, and asked them what careers they are aspire to get into. So we have YouTube coming at the top at 32%, a YouTuber. Next, coming in at 21% is a TikTok creator. And then for number three, we got a doctor slash nurse. Good to see those professions are still sought after. Um, then you have entrepreneur coming in. That's five. So that's your top five. From 5 to 1, you got entrepreneur, an app slash video game developer, doctor nurse, a TikTok creator, and a YouTuber. And then if you slide all the way down on 15%, you got an online streamer, which comes after a sports athlete. And then at the bottom of this graph, you have a teacher. Man, we need more teachers, man. But honestly, with AI being implemented, who knows if that's even, I mean, that's up for grabs, to be honest with you. So they might actually be smart with that. So, but I'm gonna actually put streamer, TikTok creator, and YouTuber kind of in the same bracket as a content creator. That's what that is. So content creation is king in the eyes of Gen Alphas, and I can see why, man. Because you see what like streamers like Kai Cenat are doing. Mr. Beast, I mean, I guess technically he started as a YouTuber. TikTok creators like who's the top ones still, like Kabi and can't think of her name. It's on the top of my I can't think of it, but um, you have some of the TikTok creators who has huge brands. Um, yeah, all content creators, right? But what they're doing, man, they are the ones who these major companies are seeking. They're on commercials now. They're in movies. You know, they are doing. They really got this entertainment industry on lock. You know, and then what they do is hard. They work hard. I'm not gonna discredit a content creator, man. That stuff is hard, man. It's a full-time job. Um, and so I would say, yeah, man, it's very interesting to see what they want to be when they grow up. Because I mean, they see it. They can they. This is where we're at here. Content is king. Okay, media is king. It always has been. You know, people telling stories or being entertained from people's personalities, right, or their stunts and performances. Man, we as people love to be entertained. Okay, so content definitely justifies that, and um, hey, I can see why. This is why I'm in this space now, man, to build a brand, um, to entertain, to inform, all that type of stuff, man. Really, to engage with an audience. Um, and so, yeah, That's what we have with that. That's the social media scrapbook. Now, what we're gonna do now to close out, we're gonna do a new segment I'm dropping called the CPA Hotline. All right, and how this works is I take uh, a story, a scenario from a real life person, um, and they just need some guidance, practical guidance on how they should navigate their situation. This is exactly what I will be doing in my accountability coaching sessions through that website, pagefullife.com. All right. And so, and then I'm please send in, or if you or somebody else, they are wanting to do the same and wanting to kind of hear on the show some practical guidance themselves, and get coached through a scenario that they're faced with, then by all means send it in, okay? And we'll get it on the show, and we can discuss it, okay? So who I have here is Jimmy from Philly, and he asks, "I'm stuck at this manufacturing job. I've been busting my ass to get promoted, but have been waiting for years now. What do I do?" Wow. All right, Jimmy, from Philly. Thanks for dropping that in. Wow, that's kind of a big, broad ask, if you will, because it doesn't give a lot of context. I don't know how much you're making at that job. I don't know what your expenses are like for if it's making sense for you to stay at that job for what your expenses are. Um, I don't know what your relationship is at that organization. I don't know if you are really. I mean, you say you've been busting your ass. I mean, I not going to discredit that, but um, heck, man, I don't know if they're racist there. I don't know if they're sexist. I don't know if um if they don't like your political views. If they heard caught you in a break room talking about some stuff. I don't know the context, right? I don't know the relationship is with you and the organization. I'm guessing not good if you been if you ain't got promoted. Um, so it's not a lot of context there, but I'll do my best. All right. What I will say is this is my this is my this is how I kind of lead my life. Right? Is the juice worth the squeeze? If you are okay, what do you want in this situation? What's of most value in this situation? Is it you want to stay at one particular company for a long time and ascend the ladder as high as you can, and then look back after 15, 20, or 30 years and say, man, I stuck with this organization for all of this time, was able to climb the ranks. I've seen them transition, and new people come in, old people go out, new changes come in, old rules go out, and that's what you value. Well, sounds like you might want to have to bust your ass some more, right? And with that, I would just say, man, everything starts with a conversation. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to express your concerns. That's in a relationship, that's in a business, that's in your personal life. You have to express your concerns if you have any, right? You have to have a conversation with the parties involved with what you're feeling, right? Because if not, they can't read your mind. And you can't expect to have everyone to have the same level of care as you, especially if you don't give them perspective on things. Like basically, yeah, they may see that you're coming in. It's like, man, Elliot, man, he's not himself, man. Or like I say, let's say you meet Jimmy. Jimmy's not himself, man. Yeah, I've noticed that, man. He's not himself. But again, they got their life that they gotta manage, and they might not think much of it. But when you have a conversation with them and be like, man, look, man, I've been busting my ass. Um, I want to stay here at this company, man. This company's been good to me. I want to ascend the ladder. I want to see what I can do. I have aspirations. I have big dreams. I mean, I've been neglecting my family because I've been staying here on the job, trying to collect overtime, I'm trying to help other people out, trying to train them, and I'm trying to show my value here as an employee, and it's really bringing me down because I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm being overlooked. Then that person may be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I have seen you be not yourself. You've been a little down. It seemed like you may have been a little, beat up with life, right? But now since you told me that, you gave me perspective on what it is that you're dealing with. Now let's see what we can do. Boom. It starts with a conversation, okay? But you got to figure out what you value most. Okay. If that's not what you value, if what you value is making the most money, okay, different route for you. It is a different thought for you. Go where the money is. If if hey, exercise your options. Go see what's out there in the job market. See if you can slag that same level that you're trying to get to. Whatever promotion you're trying to get, if it's a managerial role, see if you can go get that in another company. Okay, see, go just throw your name in the bucket. It's not a contract when you apply for a job, right? Throw your name in that. You can't win a sweepstakes if you never put your name in it. You can't win a lottery if you never play the numbers. Throw your name in the bucket. See what comes up. See what happens. See how marketable you are, given your work history and stuff. See what happens. Okay. Um, or if the money might be in a business, you have skills that you learned on a job or elsewhere, and hey, maybe it's starting a business. Gonna take some time to get off get on your feet with that, but business can be fulfilling and rewarding once you got the right system down, and you're marketing yourself right, and yeah, it can be very fruitful for you. So if what you value is the money, go where the money at. Okay. Um, see what else. Yeah, I think that's about all I can kind of give, given what I was given. Yeah, you stuck at the manufacturing job, you bust your ass to get promoted, and you've been waiting for years now. Yeah, I would just say, yeah, just figure out what you value most. Once you identify with that, then kind of map out, okay, how can I get to that value? Like, like I said, if it's making the most money, boom, how can I get to that? I need to apply for jobs. I need to start a business. Um, Hell, I need to ask around. Tap into your network. See what other people are doing, and see what paths they're on, or paths they're trying to get on. See if y'all can link up and do something together, go into business together, or if they know somebody that knows somebody that you could get in with in this company and have a good shot at getting to that position that you want to get to. Tap into your network. But like I said, if you value familiarity, if you value staying and grounded and entrenched in one place, and making that your bread and butter, and um that's what you hold to be the most valuable to me, to you, to yourself, is like sticking it out, being loyal. um then yeah, you gotta have that conversation. You gotta have that conversation with the powers that be, and let them know what you're feeling and everything. And honestly, that can give you more insight on the relationship that you have with them. You actually may be overestimating your relationship with them. They actually might not like you at all. They actually might just be tolerating you. You really might just be a number to them. Your inventory, you know, um, and they have no plans for you. Clearly indicated in you not getting a call to step on up into a new role. Okay, so gotta have those conversations, man. But yeah, that's all I can give you, given the context that I was given. But yeah, other people, if you or somebody else have a situation where y'all want to have some practical guidance on how to navigate that situation, you want to um, get to another level, like you want something else out of the present life that you are currently living right now, then please send it in. All right, please send it in, and we can talk about it on the show. All right, CPA hotline. I'm a certified personal accountant of people in their lives, and they want to have some guidance, okay, on how to navigate their life. That's what this segment is about, and that closes out this show. It's been fun, my intellectuals. Like, comment, share, and comment some more. Also, like as said before, go to pagefuloflife.com for your personal growth needs. All right, y'all stay blessed out there. All right, see y'all next week.